Okay, I'll say welcome to our very first Tribe Tuesday. You guys probably all know from like our events and stuff like that we shared on the team pages that we are literally kind of grouping together with a couple other teams to to broaden our perspectives and be able to help each other more this fall with different things, right? Because we all might be good at something or a few things, but maybe other people have a different knowledge set and stuff like that. So by all working together, we can all excuse me, either earn the incentive or promote or just earn a better paycheck, right? So I will say welcome to the other two teams, Pam and Myra. My team, for those of you that aren't on it, is called Team Sparkling Visions. And we are up in, most of us are up in Ontario. I'm based out of St. Catharines, which is just outside of Niagara Falls. Ladies, where are you guys based?
I'm based out of New York. My name is Pam. I'm from the Kings and Queens of Wax. Currently, I am in New York, but I'm moving to North Carolina in 2 weeks.
Okay, so I am in Orange County, California, and I am to blame for the Wickless Wolf Pack. I created that team. Yeah. What else?
I don't know.
Okay.
Do you want to start like
who we are?
Yeah, a little bit of our backstory or whatever. Do you want to?
Oh, do you want me or Pam to go?
You go first.
Okay. I am so excited. Okay, so I joined in 2011, April 2011. I had absolutely no intentions of doing anything with Scentsy. I just had fallen in love with the product. And I was like, after like 2 basket parties, I had noticed like everybody was like, I want more, I want more, I want more. And I was like, and I can remember that day, like if it was like today, I was in our old house, in front of our old house. And I just like had this quick conversation with my mom. And I said, what if I just joined? Because it was 150 at that time to remain active every 3 months, right? So I was like, we are spending way more than that, right? So even if I don't sell to anybody else, I can just stay active just by my own sales. Oh, hold on. Can you guys hear that? Okay. Anyway, sorry. How do I make that stop? Anyways, so around that time I was working full time. I was going to school to become a paralegal because I was in the legal field. I was in the process of getting married. My ex-husband was at that time, he was deployed. So basically it was kind of a distraction for me to join Scentsy aside from loving the product. And but I had nothing. Like I was just like, I don't plan on doing anything. I just want to do my own sales. Fast forward, I think it was like 2 months later, I got my first recruit. Guys, I was so upset. I was like, you need to call Scentsy. You need to move somewhere else. Like I was so upset because I didn't want a team. I didn't want to be responsible for anybody. And I didn't have the proper training when I joined. I just joined and missed out on everything except for Sensational Star level 1. So I had a very shitty, and I'm sorry, I cuss sometimes, a very shitty sponsor. I didn't know what warmer of the month was. I didn't know nothing. So basically I had to teach myself. And I started noticing that I was making about $400 to $500 a month after I joined. And I was like, okay, I'm paying my car with this. Like, this is like extra income that's coming in, right? That I don't have to take from my full-time job. So then it just kind of happened. In the midst of this, I think it was 2012, 2013. I actually was going through a really, really bad separation, divorce, and I almost quit. I almost quit. I almost said, I am leaving. And I was doing the minimum. There was months that I would do zero. So I think about it. I think about it now and I'm like, oh my God, if I would have quit, you know what I mean? My life would be so different. So like 2014, 2015, I have no idea what happened. This light bulb just went on. And I was actually coming out of therapy and all that stuff. So what I did was I used Scentsy as a tool to get me out of that dark place that I was at based on everything that I was going through emotionally. And I got together with who is my sponsor director now. And I was like, I want to earn that Disney incentive. That's like 4 years in. I had never earned anything. And I was like, she's like, okay, yeah, let's do this. So fast forward, I did earn Disney for one. I was crying like a baby. I was like, I can't believe I did it. You know, after coming through all this trauma, you know, earning your first incentive, you're just like, oh my God, like this is crazy. What really, really, really sparked in me was going to this incentive and feeling that Scentsy magic. And I was like, oh my God, there is not going to be any like trip I ever take like these trips. So a month later, I went to reunion. And that was another like, oh my God, this another aha moment. Like, where have I been these last 5 years? And my director goes, that was in July. She goes, by October, you're going to promote to director. And I'm like, no way. Like, I don't want to be no director. Like, you know, I was just coming back, you know, as a superstar, because I got to all the way to superstar consultant. And then I had a team of 36 and I lost everybody. Right. So fast forward, I did promote on Halloween. So I love Halloween to director. And I promoted to director and I worked my business without being able to have my phone in the office. If I had a pen that said Scentsy, he would send me home. So I would work my business on my breaks. So fast forward, I promoted in October. I met Pam in April of that following year. And by that time was 2016. 2017, I went to boot camp and I went to leadership too. And I just get feeling like this, like, oh my God, like I've never been treated this way by any employer. Like, if anything, it was so toxic at my job. So July or June 2017, I quit my job. I took a leap of faith and I was like, I'm done. And so I've been doing Scentsy full time since 2017. It was a struggle for the first year and a half, but it was the best decision I've ever made in my life, ever. And I have not missed one single incentive since Disney World. I've attended every single SFR that we had, except for the ones that had to be virtual. But I feel that when you are surrounded with people that are like yourself, you grow. And it's this Scentsy magic. It's like people are like, oh, you drink the purple Kool-Aid. I really don't. It is how they treat you, you know. And I would have never met Pam, so I would have missed out on, you know, a bestie. You know, I would have never met the owner of the rescue where I have my cats. So I would have never had my cats. I would have never traveled. Like, there's so many things that come with Scentsy. So if I would have quit in 2013 or 14, I would not be able to experience like the last amazing years of my life. And I cry because Scentsy has brought a lot. So that's it. Whew. Anyways, I'm done. Because then I'll continue crying.
Did you want to go, Pam, or you want me to go?
You go if you want.
Okay, most of you guys know me. I started in 2014, basically to supply my own wax habit. I was coming off of maternity leave. I had been in school the second time around to be a teacher here in Ontario. And I took a child and youth studies degree with like a minor in concurrent education. And I still had about a year left in my program, recently got married, got pregnant, mat leave. And I had to make kind of a big decision for myself. You know, do I go back to work? What do I do? There were no teaching jobs. Probably I'd be on a supply list or LTO still to this day. So I opened a home daycare. So it was great because I was at home with my kids, right? I, could be here for their sick days and all that kind of stuff, but money was tight. So when I got introduced to Scentsy in like 2013, I was probably spending, anywhere from $30 a month, right, for a 6-pack of wax, up to $100 if I saw a new warmer, or there were some cute buddies that came out. Of course, I want my kids to have them, all the things. And somewhere along there, I just decided, screw it. I'm not even going to tell my husband. I'm just going to join because I'm spending that money anyways. And, I'll just do that. And then I'll get paid back all the time on my own orders. And if I host a party, I already knew in my head that I would get free and half price credit. So I was thinking, okay, this is going to be my plan and this is my win. And I basically did that for like the first almost year of my business. I didn't intend on having a team. I saw the potential of it. I thought, it was out there, but I just thought it wasn't for me. I didn't think I could do it. I didn't think I had the leadership skills. I definitely didn't have the confidence. I was relatively new to the city, so I didn't have a huge network of friends. I didn't have a lot of family here. It was, me and my husband. And yeah, I went to university with a couple of younger kids and stuff like that, but they weren't really into Scentsy doing the whole mom thing. So I really, I didn't give it much thought at all. And then my sponsor, she started to recruit and grow her team. And I thought, okay, well, maybe I can try this. And I had posted, I don't know if it was a buddy or whatever it was, in a Facebook group, a local Facebook group. And somebody had contacted me and asked me about joining my team. So my very first recruit wasn't because I was partying and, asking people to join and doing those things. They kind of came to me because I was nervous and I wasn't really sure where I was with it. Fast forward 9 months and our team grew to like 17. But we had some fairly active consultants. So I hit director that fall. I also earned my first incentive and it was the Disney one that year. And I decided not to take the incentive. So I didn't get a taste of that Kool-Aid or that magic because I knew I couldn't afford to buy in my family. I couldn't buy my husband and my kids. And I wasn't going to go to Disney for the first time without bringing my family with me. So instead, I ended up going to Reunion. And that was my first reunion, which was awesome. I took the flight credit because they pay for your flights if you earn an incentive. I took the flight credit so I could bring my husband. So he went to my first one because I didn't know anyone. My upline wasn't going really. I didn't know Jody. So I was just kind of alone in a sea of consultants, right? So I was really nervous, but going to SFR changed everything for me in my business. There was a complete shift in what I wanted. And, I could see it, right? That this could be our, it's not a 401k here, but this could be our retirement plan. This could be, being debt free. This could be all of those things and the answers to those things that I was just unknown about. I didn't know how I was going to get there, but I pushed and I was consistent with hitting my 500. And, sometimes I would push and I'd hit 1,000. And I was never really like a big powerhouse seller the first few years at all. I think I would hit maybe 2,000 once in a fall and then not hit it again until the following fall because I was doing a vendor event and a couple of parties that month. But COVID happened and I had been back out at work and I got laid off from my job. And our group had grown to probably about almost 100 consultants. And with everything changing, I literally kind of had to say to myself, you know, I'm either, it's kind of now or never, right? Like, you know, I'm either going to give this a solid go or I don't know, right? I don't know if I can actually, you know, make this work. And part of me inside, like part of my why as to why I wanted it wasn't, I mean, yes, it's money driven, but it's also because I come from a place of, you know, my childhood and stuff like that was there was a lot of trauma and very broken and stuff like that. So having a sense of security, right? Having a mom who was an addict and an alcoholic and taking care of my brother and sister, I wanted to make sure that no matter what happened in life, I always had a way to pay the bills completely on my own. So if something happened to my husband or we got a divorce or whatever, I wanted to be able to know that I could do it on my own, no matter what. And that includes retirement, right? And to me, Scentsy was that. So I pushed hard. You know, I all of a sudden I was trying to book parties more and recruit more. And I was so close to hitting annual mentor in 2020. I think I recruited just over 20 people, but not everybody's certified because sometimes you recruit some people and they're just in it for the hobby, right? So they don't necessarily have the same, you know, goals and stuff like that as you do, which is okay. But I pushed hard and I hit annual sales for the first time. And then I've hit again a second time in 2021. And that's on my bucket list now for what I want in my business for this year. And I promoted to star director that fall as well, that was a big bucket list thing. I thought, you know, if I could finally hit star director, I'm on the way to, you know, I'm on the right path. I'm doing some of the right things, right? Because when I hit director early with only 17 people, we were in and out of the queue, right? I had, you know, I would have 3 months where I would be paid at title and then 3 months where I was in the queue and then I'd get it back again. It was a roller coaster for a couple of years because during that time, I was a dance mom. I worked like 45, 50 hours a week. I was a competitive dance mom. My son did, you know, competitive taekwondo. And I was out of the house basically from like 7 in the morning until 9 o'clock at night. So I did not have time for follow-up. I did not have time for parties. I did not have time for all of that, or what I thought in my head. Little did I know, I was actually still doing some follow-up because on my lunch break, on my 15-minute break, whatever, there'd be a Facebook message. And I'd be commenting on people's stuff, or I'd be doing whatever. And that was enough to kind of still be active and consistent enough in my business during those first few years to still recruit and still hit director. I didn't necessarily do it as fast as everybody else, but the consistency paid off. And that's kind of why I'm here now. So if you guys want it and, you know, you want to stay consistent and start doing those things, you can make it happen, right? You can, every single one of you that are on here, you can all do those same things because I didn't have the confidence. I wasn't anything special. You know, I kind of did bare minimums. But in the back of my head, the scared little girl always kind of knew that, what if, you know, could I do it? Could I not do it? Like maybe just keep going and see where this goes. And here I am today. Oh yeah. Pammy.
Hello. Okay, so it's so funny. We all started like at the same time. So I started in 2015. A friend of mine did a basket party and I I used to work for Bath and Body Works. I was a candle junkie. My husband was a candle junkie. Got it in a warmer, and to this day he calls it the world's ugliest warmer. Is the cream tulip shade that he hates it with the pieces. He'll tell everybody it's the world's ugliest warmer. It sits in my office, like very proudly. And he's like, "How do you get more?" I'm like, "You host a lot of parties, or you join." I'm like, "Well, I ain't join. I did direct sales. I'm from New York. I talk really fast. I am so sorry." I was like, "I did direct sales. I did that other candle company. I did Party Light. I did Leah Sophia. I did Avon. I did it all. I failed at it all." I'm like, "I'm not doing it again." So I had a basket party, hit over 500, and my sponsor, who I do not talk to, I have not spoken to her in 4 years. She's like, "Oh, you should join." I'm like, "Nope." And I was like, "Not doing it." Then we got it all in, and he asked me again. He's like, "How do you get more?" I'm like, "You host or join?" He's like, "Well, you need to join." So my husband Dennis is the reason why I sell, and he named us the King and Queen of Wax, and his license plate says Wax King on it, and he is very proud of that he is the King of Wax. I did not earn an incentive until I went to my first reunion. It's funny because I think we all went both of our first reunions was Nashville, and we didn't even know each other. I sat next to my star director, who's Heather Dealey, and I was like, "I will be up on that stage next year." And I went there as a star consultant to Nashville. I went there on a wing and a prayer and no money. She had to pay for my luggage to go home because I literally had no money to get my luggage from Nashville back to New York. Like I had to borrow $35 and pay her back when I got back home. I earned annual sales that year. I have never dropped below $2,000 in sales, and I've earned somehow every incentive since Nashville because I saw people walk those stage and all those ribbons. I'm like, I want all those ribbons and I want to walk stage. So when people say like leaders are born at events, I'm proud to say that I do. I promoted that October to director, and I met Myra that March. And it's funny because we went to boot camp together and we spoke, but we didn't really click until like that June when we went back to Kansas City. And she literally jumped on me because if you don't know Myra's 4'11". She whittle. And my husband's like, "Who is this little midget jumping on you?" And now that's her like her first husband there is my husband.
It's because you guys brought me that Dodger bottle from Punta Cana.
Yes, we brought her Dominican Republic because we earned my first incentive and she couldn't go. And I had to give Myra a big shout out. Myra has earned every top trip, top 50, top 100, 150, and she can't take them for personal reasons. And you know what? The little midget hustles her little ass off. So I need to give her those props. But yeah, we brought her back a bottle of rum because it said LA Dodgers on it, and she's a die-hard LA Dodgers fan. So a friend of ours from boot camp, we saw it in the hotel liquor store, and we had to buy it for her. So I brought it to her in Kansas City. I lost my train of thought. My first person that joined me also was, "Oh, I'm gonna join." I'm like, "Okay, I don't know what we're doing," because I wasn't taught. Like my husband says, I've been self-taught for the past 7 years. I don't talk to my sponsor since I hit director. Like we don't talk at all. My family did not support this until the one year I sat in the top 200 to go to Africa. And that's when they realized like, "Oh, you can actually make money with this." When I told them I was sitting in the top 200 and I had a possibility to go to Africa, it was a top 150 trip. I've done this full time. I've gone back to work. Right now I'm currently working because my husband hurt himself and he can't work. So I work part-time at Kohl's. I don't know if you guys have Kohl's in Canada. It's a department store here in the States. Let me tell you, I take my lunch breaks, my 15-minute breaks. I can walk in at 12 o'clock. At 1 o'clock, I'm like, I need to go to the bathroom. I need to take a 15 because I'm doing my LTOs. I can say the fortune is in the follow-up, and I've learned that the hard way. And my husband loves to tell me if I would have listened to him 7 years ago, I'd probably be different than we are now, but I didn't listen to him. I don't know what else. I don't know what else. Like I feel like I scrolled there. Yeah. My sister, it took, I'm reading Reagan's comment. It took my sister, I've been selling for 7 years. It took my sister 6 years to support me. Because she's like, I don't want this. And she does now. And my mom's like an addict now. But yeah, like what you put in is what you get out of this business. I can't stress that enough. And you know what? Like I've earned every incentive since Nashville. I might not have earned for 2. I might have not earned all 3 levels of a spring, but somehow I've earned a piece of every single incentive that we've had since I went to Nashville. Because I'm competitive with myself, and Myra's my biggest cheerleader, but at the same time, she's like my biggest, like, I just like look at her, I'm like, hey, to be Myra. And like, she just pushes me to that next level. I'm like, oh, well, she earned this. I'm like, I need to earn that. So it's like, we're like a competition with each other, like every month. But I guess that's it. I don't know. I feel like I squirreled.
When did you promote? Like you guys promoted
I guess we all promoted right after Nashville. I think all 3 of us all promoted after Nashville.
I mean, to SD, like you promoted October 2020 as well?
I promoted May 2020.
So I promoted 21. Carrie, when did you hit 20 or 21?
Didn't you promote that fall to
Maybe I did.
No, I think I was
September
2021.
So I
No.
hit fall 2020 is what I promoted, because
yeah, so
Carrie was my first
we all,
director.
yeah, so we all went to the first reunion without even knowing each other, right?
Yep.
We both hit director around the same time, and we all promoted to star directors around the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, Reagan and I spoke for years because Myra falls into Jody, but like Reagan and I are more closer to Jody because Myra has her own superstar director. Well, I guess all 3 of us do, but we're all like, Reagan and I were closer to Jody than Myra was. But I finally met Reagan at reunion. Like I attacked her. We only met this year, but like I talked to Reagan for like 2 years. I was like so giddy to like finally meet Reagan, and Myra didn't know who the hell Reagan was. I'm like, this is Reagan. She's from Canada.
Yeah, and it was funny because I connected with her. Like I could be an extrovert, but I'm also an introvert. And I have a tendency, because I do, and I know people are like, you're lying. I do lack a lot of confidence sometimes. And in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, like I'm not enough or whatever. Like I still battle with that. And I'm glad that, we're all sharing this, because there's so many of us that sometimes feel the same. And we look all like happy-go-lucky, because everybody tells me you look happy-go-lucky 24/7 on social media. But because I only show, and we're all like this, I think we all show certain colors, right? But I remember standing in the very back with Reagan, and I looked at her and I'm like, Tam, I said, we look like these 2 bitches in the back with like bitch rested faces, and she's like, yeah, like I just noticed we were just in the back, just like no smile, no nothing. And Pam's like, "Da-da-da-da-da." And but it's just, and we're so different to one another, right? We're so different, but so alike. You know what I mean? We're all kind of just wanting to support our teams, wanting to, better ourselves, wanting to grow. And I just think it's funny how the 3 of us have connected the way that we are, like how we're now, and how like alike we are too, so if you have not been to SFR, if you have not worked towards earning anything, let me tell you, you need to, because it's life changing. Like my life would not be the same without Pam. And I sincerely mean that. Like I cannot go out with like talking to her. We talk like, I don't know, we text each other like 100 times a day. And it's like, hey, did you do this? Hey, what about this? Hey, I saw this. And then, now we have Reagan. So it's like, hey, I'm going to share my emails. Hey, this is the idea that I have. What do you guys think? You know, and not only just pouring onto each other, but I'm making it a point that anything that I do, and by the way, I had an Amazon order yesterday of 130. So keep an eye for that live, because it's just ideas. Like I think sometimes I just like lay there and just like, oh my God, I can do this, I can do that. And it doesn't cost much, you know? Or you don't have to do all the things, but and I lost track of where I'm going with this, but I just want you guys to know that if you don't have the support of your family, if you don't have the support of other people, make those connections with your team, with your people and your teams. Like these calls are awesome, because you guys, outside of this, you guys can talk, right? Like, you know, or ask questions and bond with us too. So I feel like if you don't have that support outside of Scentsy, like Scentsy, that's what it is. Like it's a community. We're here to help each other, you know, like, and it's family. It's really family. And if you guys have not attended SFR, you guys need to put it in big old letters somewhere, like where you can see it every day. Like aim for it. Like there's a brand new incentive. Okay, like what if you like, and it's so easy. It's only what, 18,000 points?
It's only 2,500 sponsoring points. And I know, like, to Myra, that's nothing. That's my struggle. In 7 years, I've never seen the sponsoring points be so low. Like,
Yeah.
that's just stupid. It's like 2.5 people.
Yeah.
Yes, Steph is the best thing. We got to meet Steph.
Oh, me and Steph, I swear, yesterday I brought Steph up, and I was like, if I would have not been where I was at that day, like I would have never met her and met that connection. Like I simply, like, okay, you guys gotta understand, you guys say cats and I'm like, you guys got like my full attention. Like, what'd you say? And I just turned around and started talking to a table of like 4 people. And not only that, but they came to my presentation, and I want you guys to know I almost did not do my presentation. I was suffering from so much anxiety. I was crying. I was going to tell Jason and Jeff that I didn't want to do it because I did not feel worthy of being there and speaking to people. And I just happened to make friends, that connection. And I was like, when I saw them, I was like, you know, and I could like focus on that table. So like I said, if you guys have not gone, if you guys opted out from going, go, because
it's on the East Coast this year. So all you Canadians, it's straight down.
We're gonna drive.
There you go.
We'll figure out the things. Jen,
Yeah, it's on the East Coast. It has never, ever been on the East Coast. Nashville is the closest it's come to the East Coast.
And honestly, like when you room up with other people, like we did it with 3 people this time around, but you know, bunking up with 4 people, it really cuts on hotel costs. There are ways like you can bring some food like oatmeal packets or bananas or whatever to your room. You don't have to grab like takeout breakfast every day and all the things, or protein bars. I bought some of those.
Oh, Myra left to me. I had enough snacks to like last the whole week. Like the whole like counter was just filled with snacks.
Yeah.
I was going on a budget there. So like I came with like all kinds of snacks. So
and honestly, like if you can, it sounds silly, but like even if you're like a Timmy's girl, like we're Tim Hortons people up here as Canadians, or a Starbucks person, right? Like you go to drive through 5 days a week, you know, maybe only hit it 2 or 3 days a week and take that money that you would normally buy an extra coffee or whatever as for yourself and put it in a little piggy bank, because reunion isn't crazy expensive for registering. And if you guys push yourselves in your business this fall, and by next year, you can be that much further where your paychecks have grown. So you'll have a little bit more extra to go towards it. So then if it's just, you know, driving down there and gas money and sharing a hotel or whatnot, we each, like the 3 of us, when we went this year, Steph, Jill, and I, we split the room 3 ways, and we basically all paid, you know, one night's a little bit more than one night in a hotel. So there are ways to do it.
And there's like hotels like around the convention center, because we stayed with Reagan because someone shared a group rate and I texted Reagan, like, Reagan, like this hotel went down to this price or something like that. But like
Yeah.
Myra and I shared a room and it wasn't that expensive. And we were walking distance to the convention center.
Oh, I lost 3 pounds that week, guys. 3 pounds.
Yeah. You'll lose weight. Like pack
Um,
your shoes, pack your Tylenol, and you will lose weight because it's a lot of walking. It's worse than Disney. Like it's ridiculous.
And when it comes to incentives, I remember when I first started to recruit before I hit director, I remember thinking in the back of my head, you know, my sponsor and I would hear other people, we'd go on like Zooms or trainings like this, not quite as many because it just didn't exist back then. But they'd be like, rah, rah, everybody earn the incentive. You can do this. It's so easy. And in the back of my head, the script was going, yeah, easy for you guys. You don't have my customer base. You don't have my schedule. You don't have my mom life, you know, and I was literally filling my head with so much doubt that I literally wasn't shooting for it for my first couple of years at all. And the first year that I finally did, you know, it was when I promoted a couple of times. I promoted to the superstar consultant and then I promoted director, and that gave me enough points. My confidence was still kind of low, but that gave me enough, you know, points and confidence to kind of, okay, maybe I can try this. And that's when I earned the Disney one. And since then I've earned it, but not because I'm not scared, not because, you know, I think it's always going to be easy, but because I look at the incentive and say, okay, I'm going to aim for X, whether it's reunion, level 1, level 2, you know, and then bust that out and divide it by 6 months. But the biggest thing that I didn't do was talk to my upline and sponsor and try and make a plan with them and tell them how I was scared and ask for help when I didn't know how to break that down. You know, if you're in your head like I was, I really encourage you, whether it be talking to one of the 3 of us or whomever, you know, you're comfortable with. Because when you break it into those little tiny bits or weekly goals or daily goals, if I told you, you know, you had to sell 1 6-pack a day, all of a sudden it becomes way more achievable, right? Like if you wake up and you message a few people each day, sometimes you might sell that 6-pack before lunch if you message 5-10 people, right? So I don't want you to be in your head and just look at it as like a total stop. Like that's a lot of points and it's scary because it is scary, right? Until you do it the first time, I want you to kind of be fearless and know that you can do the exact same things the 3 of us did. But you just got to kind of, you know, go balls to the wall, make a plan, and you're not going to get everything right. There are some months, maybe you don't hit all your targets, but maybe you make it back somewhere else, right? Whether it be fundraisers or whatever. And we're going to help you with all of those ideas. So.
So many amazing LTOs coming out. Sorry, Myra. We have so many amazing LTOs coming out. Like, you don't have to focus on all of them. You don't have to focus on one, but you know what? Scentsy's giving us this advantage of giving us that calendar. So you could pick and choose what LTOs you want to focus on. You don't want to focus on any of them? You don't have to. But like, just break it down into like bit-sized pizza, like figure it out. Like I need to do this. If you're a good sponsor, then get all your points from sponsoring. I suck at sponsoring. I'll admit that. My girls are like, how do I sponsor? I'll be like, are you asking? They're like, no. I'm like, well, there you go. Because you know what? I don't ask either. I will completely admit that. I can sell you, I can sell ice to an Eskimo. I cannot recruit for my life because I don't ask. But at the same time, I build relationships. Like Carrie will tell you, Taz will tell you, they're amazing customers. And then all of a sudden they're like, I want to join. I'm like, okay. Like they came to me and most of my team has, but my team is small, but we're strong. We're like a small little strong team, but like, I don't ask. Myra will ask everybody. I don't ask. So.
And she'll also get 10,000 PRV in a month.
Seriously.
For parties.
So I just want to say, like, I'm very visual. How many of you guys are very visual? Like, raise your hand or put it on the chat. I'm super visual. So anything that I have around my office, it's inspiring things. Like I have my first picture with Heidi, you know, our picture with Pam from my last SFR. Like those things inspire me to want to keep going, even in the days that I feel like shit and I don't want to get up. So I cleaned my office. What was it, Friday that I cleaned my office? There he is, right there. So I cleaned my office and I ordered this little whiteboard, right? And on there, I don't know if you guys can see it. It's like right over there. Okay. I put annual sales, ASA in the little box, annual mentor, a little box, incentive, a little box, right? And then what I wanted to hit this month, my goals of the new teenies. And as I'm getting them, I'm going to cross them out, or I'm putting a little check mark. So anytime I come here, because I come here, that's the first thing I see. So you want to set those goals. And even if you don't get there, you guys, the next month, guess what? You guys can start all over. We have from May to April of next year to earn those big annual awards. Okay. And this is something that we were talking about yesterday. If you're already aiming for annual mentor, annual sales, you're right on board with the incentive, because everything that you're doing to work for your annual awards is helping you towards that incentive. And let me tell you, I think it was like 2 years ago, I mean, obviously I always aim for like, whew, back over there, right? But I think it was like sponsoring points was something crazy for level 6. It was like 8,000. And I was like, I'm never going to get there. I am never going to get there. Like, and I did. But for, you know, when somebody barely joins, that looks very, very big. And you're just like, I'm never going to get there. Even if you aim for it and you don't get there, the fact that you even put in the work towards it, keep going. I don't know if Pam remembers, but when we first started connecting, our goal was to hit 2,000 every month. Remember, Pam? Because that's like when we hit our 30%, right? The extra 5%. And we would like be crazy, like, let's do this, let's do that. And I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat it. There's been months where I was like, oh my God, like I'm not hitting it and I can't get it and I don't know what to do. And then that just made me push harder for the following month, for the following month, for the following month. And then the PRV just kind of grew from there. And I said sometimes I scare people because I mean, if I was to tell you I hit between 10,000 to 18,000 PRV every month, I would literally scare you guys, because that it's not something that happened overnight. It's
It
something
scared
that,
me.
yeah, but it's like for 5 years every weekend, and I think I put in a lot of tears and blood into my first, when, you know, the first last 5 years, whatever, I was at events every weekend. I was making connections. Some events, I'm telling you guys, I would come home and my mom's like, how'd you do? I was like, I only sold a freaking car bar. Right. But from there, something else happened, or I got a recruit later on or whatever. But it was just kind of like these summer days that suck. I would be at these events. I would be there. And you know what? I gave up a lot of weekends from my friends and my family. But where am I today? You know, where am I today? You know, how far have I gotten, you know, because of all the work that I put into my business? You know, I opened my eye, like today, I went to get my hair done. I knew I was going to be there forever. I took my laptop and I was scheduling posts for random days like Warmer Wednesday or Tip Tuesday on my VIP group. So for the next month, it's all scheduled. I don't have to worry about it. I went to go get my tire changed on Monday. I took my laptop, you know, and then I was putting our banner together, and we were, whatever it was, wherever I go, I take my laptop. You don't have a laptop, you have your phone. You go poop, you take your phone. We don't have excuses on why we're not working our business. We don't. Save a bunch of pictures on your phone and then go on your damn story and just post them all. Simple as that. It's sharing. You don't have to sell. You just simply have to share, be present, and show up, even on the days that you hate life. Because I know we all have those days.
Yeah, lots. I mean, there are lots of days where I'm in my head or I'm busy with life or whatever, and I'm doing my version of the bare minimum, which is probably like one Facebook post, maybe a post in my VIP page. But then I'm not doing anything else. I'm not following up with customers. I'm not responding. I'm like disconnecting off my phone for 2-3 days because I just need a mental break. And you're allowed to have those moments. We're all going to have those moments, right? But when you're done with that, right, it's about, okay, let's move forward again. Let's pick up, let's post. You don't have to have all the flashy things. Sure, I have a display. I have to change it out for the fall stuff. But you don't have to have all the new fall stuff, right? We have different Facebook groups that have all the pictures of all like the new warmers and stuff like that. You don't have to be a master with Canva. There are Canva groups. You don't have to pay for all the things. Even project broadcasts. I'll probably be using that because as a leader, it's going to help me connect with you guys as a team. And maybe my customer list is a little bit longer, right? But maybe for you, good old fashioned pen and paper and a list of somebody when they're ordered and following up with them on 2 days and then following up in 2 weeks and then in 2 months or whatever. Maybe that's all you have to do. And maybe you can put it in the notes in your phone. So you're like completely free and you have it on the go wherever. So if you're sitting around waiting, it takes 2 seconds, right? But it's remembering to do those things and being intentional with your time, because I bank a lot of family time, right? Like I am very, I'm looking at your screen and someone's walking by. I'm very intentional with my time. Like when I'm working on my business, I'm actually working on my business. I'm not necessarily just scrolling Facebook for shits and giggles, pardon the language. But then my off time, I'm off. Like I just totally disconnect. I don't respond necessarily to messages at that time. And it's not necessarily to be rude, but it's just because we all need to have our family time or our work time or our other life, right? But I can still run my business and be very successful with it as long as I'm intentional and consistent with those small things that I do. I make them count.
I mean, being intentional, I think is huge. I had a surgery 4 weeks ago. I had a massive surgery. I had a hysterectomy. I'm very open about it. And my sister thinks I'm hilarious because I keep posting about it. I posted that I tooted and I was so excited because I tooted in the hospital and I couldn't go home until I farted. But like I was getting orders from my hospital bed. A customer texted me. They didn't even know I had surgery, but like, cause I'm consistent with my customer, because I can't stress consistency enough. I post every day. I have stuff scheduled. We're moving to North Carolina. I am moving like down the East Coast. Like my husband and I were born and raised in New York, and we're just picking up and moving. So it's a huge thing for us. I don't have a setup. I didn't even order the fall kit because I wasn't going to order it to pack it back up. But like Reagan said, Myra said, you steal pictures from other people. I steal from Myra. Myra steals from me. I steal from Reagan. We steal from each other all the time. Like this is what we do. But that's the thing about Scentsy, is that we're here to share. But like I can't stress the consistency enough and being real. Like I like my first 2 weeks, every day I was posting like how I was feeling in my hysterectomy. And you know, I connected with people. They're like, oh my God, I'm having a hysterectomy also. And I connected with a girl that's on our a friend of mine that I met, and Reagan and Myra met her, this girl, Shayna Turney. I'm on her team page. One of her girls had a hysterectomy and she like brought stuff to the hospital. So we connected that way also. So now I got to talk to her because we were like, well, hysterectomy buddies. You just got to post and just be real. Like we can't, like everything's not all butterflies and rainbows all the time. We're all real. We all have lives. Yeah. I can't like stress. It's just my biggest thing is being consistent. You can't like post today and then at the end of the month be like, oh my God, I didn't hit my goal. Who's going to help me? That's just like a peeve of mine. Or like, I've been slacking for the past 3 months. I'm going to lose everything. If you've been posting consistently, even if it's one thing, you won't have that issue. And like, I know like with Myra, like with her goal thing, it was the last thing that came down to my office. I have a goal, a huge whiteboard that goes up, like it's right behind my computer, and I would stare at it every day. And I had like my annual sales and what I had that month and what I needed for that 30,000. Cause last year, I think I hit in October or November, but like I hustle because for last year, my husband hurt himself. He was on workers' comp. We were like, Scentsy was our only income coming in, so I had to hustle. So I mean, like everybody's why changes. My why has changed a ton over the past 7 years. And I know Myron Reagan's has changed a ton. We've all gone through ups and downs and backs and forths. So, but like my biggest thing is consistency. My team knows I'm like the queen of Happy Meal, and I learned it 6 years ago, right before I went to boot camp. Erin Fluharty, who's now, I'm proud to say she's a good friend of mine, did a Tuesday training call on Happy Meal. I know, you Canadians like spend like, it's like stupid for you guys to like mail stuff. So I'm so sorry about that. Erin, Reagan told me like, it's like ridiculous, but like, I'm the queen of like Happy Meal. And that's kept my business going because I'm consistent of every month sending out a thank you package, a sample, something. But like the biggest thing I can't stress is consistency. I follow up like Myra. When we first connected, the two of us were doing 2, 3, 4 vendor events a weekend. I went from like Labor Day to like the weekend before Christmas. My husband and I were splitting events because at the time Taz was by me. We were the only 2 consultants in our county that people were begging us to do Scentsy events. My husband was doing one event, I was doing another event, Taz was doing another event because there was no one around.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, and back then I didn't know about collecting customer information and following up and stuff like that. And like, I can't stress it enough. It's just the follow-up and the consistency. You have to be consistent in your business. Like Myra posts about her cats. I post about my cats. Like we don't have kids. So like, you have 3 different perspectives of life here. Reagan has a husband and kids. I have a husband and my kids have 4 legs. Myra's kids have 4 legs. Myra has a farm at her house. She has like more
I
dogs.
have no husband. I got no
She has
husband.
no husband. She has no one to help her.
Well, they go in the kid category anyways. So
Oh, okay.
True that.
sorry.
True that.
Background.
So I just wanted to piggyback off Pam. So Pam's moving, obviously. I recently moved. It's obviously not that far of a move, but I feel like I'm in the middle of buttfuck Egypt, for real. I know. And so just last week, somebody had posted something about moving. And I was like, Pam, I go, this is awesome. And I actually grabbed it too, shared it with you guys. I made 30. I think this neighborhood only has like 50 or 60 houses. There's not that many. So I went on Canva. Listen, I put this together, in 5 minutes? 5 minutes it was. And I'm gonna say, it says, hello neighbor, do you love fragrance? Well, you got yourself a Scentsy consultant in your neighborhood. I grabbed a scented sticker. I went and got rubber bands at a Walmart, and me and my mom are supposed to go for a walk either today or tomorrow. And we're supposed to like leave these at their door. So while we're getting our exercise.
So like the rubber band on their door handle?
Yeah.
Or like mailbox or wherever?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's it. And I printed them out in regular paper. So it's like, sometimes I hear, oh, the customers and this and that. Well, guess what? We're going for a walk and we're still doing this.
Yeah.
And because I want people to know, hey, we just moved, so we don't really know anybody. We moved like 5 months ago. I don't know anybody here. But hey, I think it cost me a sheet or 2 sheets of sticker or scented stickers, and rubber bands were $1. I mean, if I get something out of this, I do. And if I don't, then I don't. But it's just little things like this that you guys could implement in your business.
But you could have something like that. And if you're going through drive-through, or you're taking your kids to school, or if you're in Walmart, or, and you're even walking up the laundry aisle or whatever, or, be intentional, have something with you. It doesn't have to be a flashy sample packet. It can literally be like a business card and a sticker, or like a printout like that. and whatever. You don't have to go broke to still network and make connections, right? The business is more about making connections than it is about giving all the things. Like the things are nice and everything. But again, as Canadian consultants, we can't do what some of these girls do in the States, right? With their Happy Mail. Like I couldn't afford it. I don't know most SSDs that could even afford it in Canada. So we work with what we have and we modify, but I still make that connection. And if I see somebody, you compliment their hair or you compliment their shirt or you see it that's in a sport that you're in or whatever, right? Jen, I know I'm gonna call you out just because I see your pic, but I know you're into like making cards and scrapbooking and all that kind of stuff, right? Making those kind of connections and then talking about what you do on the side. Like once you have the friendship, it is so much easier to make a sale Scentsy because you're not talking to them in a spammy sense. You're just sharing what you do and sharing what you love. And if you're not using Scentsy all the time, you're missing out on so much of an opportunity, right? Like most of you guys all joined probably because you love it just as much as we do. That's all you have to do is talk about that and share that. And I can tell you, if you started sharing using Scentsy Fresh or changing wax in a warmer or a new scent or whatever, it doesn't have to be messaging people all the time. Hey, can you buy for me? Hey, can you buy for me? Just sharing how you're using Scentsy in your daily life or weekly life, even 1 to 2 times a week. If you actually did that 1 to 2 times a week and you either went live or made a small video or whatever, you don't even have to put your face in it if you're self-conscious, or just start with a picture, like take a photo of your warmer at home. Obviously you don't want leftover McDonald's fries and coffee cups and whatever in the background. You want to make sure that the background, right, is tidy up, and you don't want caked on dust. Even if we're busy and I've got I haven't done any cleaning in my house, when I take a picture, I just make sure that I clear all the clutter and I wipe that part of the counter, right? But if you did that, your business would grow tenfold over the next 6 months.
And that is really true. Friday I was cleaning. I was using counter cleaner. I was washing my sheets. I bathed my dog. You guys know what my story looked like on Friday? It was like, Pam's like, ma'am, she's like, are you okay today? And I was like, yeah. It went from washing my sheets, right? And I'm spraying the Scentsy Fresh. So I took a story of that. Then I came downstairs. I took another story as I was putting the sheets in the washer, right? Then I grabbed Vito. See, I'm telling you, having pets is like having kids. I grabbed Vito. It's been really hot. He's stung and I had to clean the office. So I was like, you know what? I already use these products. Like I legit use them. Why am I not posting? I mean, why aren't you guys posting? Because every time I clean and I have something Scentsy, it goes in my story. And I know sometimes it may seem repetitive to me, but not everybody sees our stories all the time, So sometimes they're like, oh my God, I missed it. Oh, I didn't see it. I'm like, how? I post about it all the time. So I bathed Vito outside and I made a quick story about bathing him, and then came inside. I was cleaning his crate, used a counter cleaner. You guys already have your phone on hand. You guys are using the products. So why aren't you guys sharing? And you're not bugging anybody. That's your job as a consultant, to share, not sell, but to share.
And from somebody else, I'm a very self-conscious person, right? About how I look, about how my house looks, all of those things. It has taken years and years to get a backdrop like that. But when I share, something, I'll often I'm blocking myself from those sort of opportunities because my laundry room is literally in an unfinished basement. And there is probably crusty laundry soap on my my laundry machine. And there is we have a rack of clothing for drying beside the dryer that's hanging. And then my husband's workbench and then my Scentsy stock. It's an absolute mess. So I get in my own head and I don't share those things. And I know I miss those opportunities because I'm worried about what other people think, right? And I'm worried about all that kind of stuff. But you know what? There are people living exactly like you do. And it's probably a lot of us, right? And they don't care. They're going to connect with you because that's their life. You know, we don't all live in Canada. It's not much for $1 million home, but we don't all live in like, you know, 4-bedroom houses with 2-car garages on, you know, half an acre of land that's perfectly farmhouse decorated and all the things, right? Like, we don't necessarily all live like that. We all, you know, have very different homes and very different friend groups, and our friend groups, they know what our house looks like, but they want to see how we're using those products, right? So we kind of have to get out of our own heads sometimes.
Myra posted a picture and a thing about Scentsy Fresh today. You know what? On Sunday, I had to go to a baby shower and I got a dress and it was wrinkly. You know what? Scentsy Fresh will release wrinkles. I took a picture on Sunday and I never posted it. And it was perfect timing because Myra made a post. I took it. I took her little graphic and then I added my graphic of my dress and me holding Scentsy Fresh. And I put a little thing. Did you know it releases wrinkles? And I put that on my VIP page because I didn't want to post on my personal page because Myra just posted like 5 minutes before. So I wasn't going to totally snag her thing. So it shows up on like all of a sudden like everybody's copying and pasting. But I posted that. I love when my house is messy because it just shows that I'm real. Because everybody just, people who know me, Tasman or Carrie know me, I have like OCD bin and organization issues. Like I love a bin. Like everything is in a bin. I made Carrie before she moved, like bin out her whole office and her samples because it made me twitch. Like we went to the dollar store and I made her buy bins because she was giving me anxiety. There she goes. Those are
all the bins. All the bins.
I am all about bin. My husband wants to kill me because I have boxes of empty bins that are being moved. He's like, "What is this?" I'm like, "It's organized and I know where it all is." But like when my house is a mess, I live in a 2-bedroom tiny little apartment. And like I was like, I don't care it's a mess because you know what? Everybody else's house apartment is a mess also. So like I embrace that. I'm like, I have no shame. I'll do like a clip putting washers. I'll be like, pardon my cruddy, because Reagan, my thing is just as cruddy. Also, my laundry room, like the thing, I'm like, pardon the crudiness, but here you go. Here's my my washing machine. It's gross. So like, just embrace it because no one lives in a perfect photo ready house unless you're Johanna Luna, which I don't understand because she has 2 boys and how her house is always like picture perfect. But that's. It's white and picture perfect. I don't know how she lives like that because she has boys. I don't know, but
I don't want to live picture perfect. Like, I mean, our house is like gets lived in or whatever, but
that's exactly what it is. It's lived in.
I get in my head, right?
Yeah. And like, I don't care. Like,
To be authentic, like, because can
that's
you imagine?
exactly what it is.
Okay, so this is me on Zoom, and then you guys all like, damn, her makeup's on point, because that's, you know what I mean? Like I just I cannot take a picture like this for Facebook. I think I have, and I've gone live like probably worse. It's just like Reagan says, just getting out of your head. I'm like, oh my God, I look disgusting without makeup, even with the filters, like Pam already yelled at me about it. But it's the constant thing, and sometimes we forget that there's people like us, and we are perfect the way we are, and we are authentic to ourselves. And you want to be authentic, you want to be you, because you will attract that. That's how you create your tribe. Can you guys imagine if I was like pretty and perfect all the time? You guys would not want to join it or me, because like, no, but she's got her life perfect. Like, my life is a shit show. Like, and it's like, yeah, my life, it's a shit show sometimes. We all go through like struggles, like we all go through stuff, like we all don't wake up looking pretty, we're all different sizes, different heights, like, and it's perfectly okay. It's perfectly okay. So if you're not sharing because you're afraid of whatever, like, you know what? I might be like, oh my God, girl, I got the same toaster and it's just as dirty.
Yeah. Like, you just gotta be real. Like a couple weeks ago, my mom, we went out shopping because we went out on an adventure. Let me tell you, it wiped me out. The next day I posted a picture. I'm like this. And my dad's like, I can't believe you posted that. I'm like, because I'm real. I was tired. I was exhausted. I was in pain. because having a hysterectomy sucks because they cut me like a C-section. So all you mamas who had a C-section, bless you, because this flipping sucks. But like I was exhausted and like I was just real on my page and like, you know what? But I'm getting interaction because I was real and I was authentic and I had a cockeyed picture saying I was tired and exhausted because my mom dragged me all around town and she blames me that I dragged her all around town.
Yeah.
I was just reading.
I'm reading Carrie's comment because
Carrie's comment. Yeah, I'm a Star Wars guy. Like we're a Star Wars family too, and a Harry Potter family. So
Yeah.
that
Carrie's
comment.
a diehard Star. I get every time I see something, and then I realize that she actually posted it because I'll just like not catch who it was. I just see Star Wars and I think of Carrie because she's like a Star Wars crackhead. And her and my nephew are like buddies. My little nephew who just left.
Well,
but, yeah.
It is 10 after 9.
Way late.
So it was way late, right? We went a little bit over on the first call. But for tonight was kind of like an introduction of like the three of us, kind of where we are, but also encouraging you guys to dream, right? And encouraging you guys to do those big, scary things this fall, because none of the three of us ever thought we could, or we would, or we wanted to. And we've been where you're at. And we have so many things that we want to talk to you guys over the next few weeks about, like, making, whether it be fundraisers, more things for the incentive, ways to get new sales, internet marketing, parties, all of those things that we want to help you with. But yeah, that was it.
So every week we're going to be discussing something different. And it could be like one of us, all three of us talking or whatever. So I personally encourage you guys, if you guys have a team, to tell your teams to come on. We'll discuss samples, like how I do samples, how, Pam does samples, how I do my home parties, and stuff like that. So there's going to be a lot that's going to be shared throughout the weeks, for you guys to get ideas. And I just want to leave something out there. What may work for me may not work for you. But you can always tweak ideas from anybody, like not just us, but just anybody. Systems and stuff that you do, just make it so it fits you. But we're here and we started these calls again because we feel that you guys need it, but we also need it because when you guys are involved, to me, it really motivates me. And it's like you guys are pouring into my cup as well. So I just encourage you guys to show up on the calls, even if it's for 30 minutes, for 10 minutes, at least show up. And you never know what you can get in like those 10, 15 minutes. And ask questions. Don't be afraid to like post things in the chat. Like if there's something that you're not understanding or you don't know how to do it or how to get it or whatever, like post in the chat. We're here to help you. We're here to better each other.
And as far as like the questions go and stuff like that, I think as time goes on and we're like focusing on one topic or whatever, of course, we want you guys to be able to have that opportunity to kind of like unmic, and whether it be in the chat or whether you want to like pop on and ask things, right? Because sometimes that's how we learn. I'm a very much hands-on person, so I kind of have to do it, get into it, talk about it to kind of rationalize it in my head. I can hear it 50 million times, or I could go to other trainings, but unless I ask the questions that I need answered, I'm not necessarily going to be able to, put something, into work kind of thing. So.
You guys have any questions for today? There is no stupid question. Yes, Myra.
Yeah, no, never.
The stupid question is the question you don't ask. That's the stupid question. It's the one you do not ask because someone else is thinking it also.
Yeah.
There's three of us, and hopefully between the three of us, one of us will know the answer. If not, we'll find out for you.
Just like me popping on here and being like, okay, how do I meet people on a Zoom, right? As we don't do this all the time, so we're learning new skills too.
I mean, my girls know, like, if I don't know the answer, I'll find it out for you. I'll make it a mission. Yep. You gotta go to Myra Reagan first, but I'll find it.
So yeah, so thank you for those of you that actually made the time to hop on. I know we're like 15 minutes over and I apologize. So we I know all of us are making events. So for our next call, we'll title it whatever it is. I know that for my people, I made a questionnaire, whatever, or is that how you say it? I make up my own words too. And so if you guys want to like message me, or if you guys want to put it on the team page, like, hey, can we discuss this? Then I can talk to the girls and like, hey, can we put it on somewhere on our list? But we will cover anything that you guys will desire or want to talk about. So we'll
And for
cover
Irish
it.
people, I'm sorry. I put it on and I guess adjusted for Eastern time, not Pacific time. So I am sorry about the time zone issue there because somebody went into Facebook jail. So I was doing my best to post the right times and I guess I didn't. So I am super sorry about that. Hopefully she'll stay out of jail and she can post her own events now.
And obviously on the weeks that you guys, like, if you have, your kids' sport, or you can't actually be here because you're working your other job. Maybe you're like Steph, like, well, she's even here because she's driving bus and she can listen to a headset. But at my old job, I know I could never have a headset on or even be on my phone. And we totally get that, right? But if you make the time to play back the recording and stuff like that, you might not, the entire call might not be a light bulb moment for you, but there might be 2 or 3 or 4 different ideas that you can kind of implement in your business. And they might make it, you go from 200 to PRV to 500 to 1,000 and so on. So yeah, we want you guys to grow this year, but for you, not for us.
Smile.
So we all want to lift each other up and learn from each other and do the things.
I like
right.
I look a picture like this, like that she posted of me.
Yeah, see, she gets me back every time. Every time.
So thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you for coming out.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.